very much. Yes, there was a strong woman that stood by the side of Cesar Chavez, and I need to say that Cesar never would have been able to do had she not been there with him, and that was his wife, Helen Chavez, okay? And thank you very much for inviting me to this celebration. And I want to thank the City Council for taking this a step and for joining on that march to justice for farm workers. That the poet Felipe ended up with just reminding us of that song, of that long march. And I want to thank all of you for joining that march also, because we know that we are not there yet. We're not there yet. When we think that this boulevard for Cesar Chavez, think about this. There are streets all over the United States named for Cesar Chavez. In Texas, in New Mexico, in Kansas, in Arizona. This is the first street in the Central Valley of California for Cesar Chavez. So thank you, Fresno City Council, for doing this. Not only that, in others, I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico for Cesar's birthday. The city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, for 30 years, they have put forth funding to do a Cesar Chavez celebration. For 30 years, $40,000 the city pays to celebrate Cesar Chavez. Okay? But we do not have that in Delano. We do not have that in Bakersfield. We do not have that in Fresno. So again, give the City Council a big applause for the Cesar Chavez Boulevard. And I want to say this about your Board of Supervisors, okay?
Órale.
Boo, that's it.
Oh.
The Board of Supervisors voted not to name the street in the county for Cesar. I'm going to say this, para mí son unos cobardes, ¿no?
Hey.
Son unos cobardes. They are cowards because they would not name that street for Cesar Chavez, okay? So, what are we going to do about those guys on the Board of Supervisors, okay?
Pa' abajo.
Hay que sacar esos güeyes.
Eso.
Hay que sacarlos.
Pa' abajo.
We need to take them out, okay? Take them out. Because if they do not have the courage or the insight to name a street for Cesar, our great leader, that means that they're not representing you the way that they should be. They're not representing you the way they should be, okay? So there's going to be elections in next year. Hay tiempo to organize and to make sure that we get other people to replace them, all right? ¿Se puede?
Sí se puede.
All right, let's do that. And I want to thank the Nazo Galuna, everybody. Let's give them another applause. Yeah, we want to thank Renato for his vision, for his commitment, for his dedication, and he really showed that, como decía Cesar Chavez, as long as you keep working and you don't quit, you will win. As long as you don't quit, you will win. Renato never quit, making sure that we got that 3% Cesar Chavez. So, and so many of you have been involved in the struggle. I want to thank you, but also to remind everybody that the struggle is not over. We talk about farm workers being essential workers. When everybody during the COVID, people could work at home, as somebody said earlier, they couldn't. They were out in the fields every day. Essential workers. Firemen are essential workers. Police are essential workers. Healthcare workers are essential workers. Farm workers are the most essential workers because they feed everybody else. that they do not get the same pay that firemen and policemen and healthcare workers get, okay? So we have to continue working until that day that farm workers receive the same salaries and the benefits that policemen and firemen get, okay? And we have to keep working on that. And we want you to help doing that. So I want to ask you to please continue to support the United Farm Workers. I tell people out there not to be afraid to join the union. There's protections out there. And the United Farm Workers need your help. Okay? So can we do that? One more thing I want to say about Cesar. Cesar also cared about the community. When we had the first meeting, not the first one, but a big meeting with the growers, and he told the growers in Delano, I want you to do something to help our children get a better education. And some of the attorneys at the table turned to me and they said, what is he talking about? What's he talking about? We're talking here about wages for farm workers. I said, Cesar not only cares about the farm workers in the field, he cares about their families and he cares about their children. And then he got up and he walked out of the meeting. Because this is what the message he was trying to say. Because you know, in our community, people have a lot of talent. Cesar never went to high school. He only went to the 8th grade. But he was a genius. And in our union, he believed that people could do great things if you give them the opportunity. If you give them the opportunity. So out of the union came many, many great leaders, attorneys, judges, everywhere you look, people that came out of the movement because Cesar believed in the power of the people. That was his mission. And so we have to continue Cesar's legacy, all of us by working together. I mentioned Renato Gabona, and we have other great people here that are part of the movement. The Gomez family that is here, Humberto. And Gloria Hernandez was here somewhere.
Yeah.
She went to jail when she was a teenager, and she was arrested. Roberto Bustos, the captain. He had another person. And I want to mention the De La Cruz family, Jesse and Arnulfo De La Cruz, who had the very first meeting for the farmers union here in Fresno. So now, I want to ask all of you, one more thing. We're working on a bill to give undocumented workers unemployment insurance, okay? That's I want to ask all of you to please email the governor, Gavin Newsom, and tell him, please support that bill by Maria Elena Durazo to give undocumented workers unemployment insurance, okay? So now I'm going to ask you all to stand up for a minute, okay? Se pueden parar de vuelta, por favor. Please stand up. Oh, let me tell you a little joke that's easy to tell. Cesar también tenía un chiste, ¿no? He would talk about, and he did it, a cowboy that was coming down with a big rope. And he saw a little dog, and he hit the dog. And the dog went yelping, running away. Then he lifted his chicote, and he hit the cow. Le pegó a la vaca. Y la vaca se fue llorando. And then he came up to a tree, and he raised his whip. And there was a beehive, un panal de abejas. Y luego levantó el chicote, he raised his whip, and he said, I better not, they're organized. I better not, they're organized, okay? So, let's remember that. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I want you to remember this, because we have to go out there and vote. If you're not a citizen, become a citizen, so you can vote in 2024 para sacar los güeyes de los supervisores, okay? I want to ask you who's got the power. I want you to say, we've got the power, hold on. And then the second question is, what kind of power? I want you to say, Cesar Chavez power. Okay, let's go. Who's got the power?
We got the power!
Okay, one more time, so people are sure. Okay? Who's got the power?
We got the power!
What kind of power?
Cesar Chavez power!
Are we going to use our power? But we say, se puede, no se puede.
Sí se puede!
Todos juntos. Sí,
puede, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede. Come from the stomach.